that we refused to go to real therapy.
So we started our own. Welcome to Tequila Therapy.
Let's take a shot, y'all.
Welcome back to another session of Tequila Therapy. Let's take a shot.
Thanks for the participation.
Thanks for the group participation. Now we can get started. I was way ahead of myself.
Me too. And I'm feeling better.
All right. Well, let's start with your top and bottom. No, let's not.
Y'all are only one shot in, guys.
Okay.
Honestly, okay, we had
this discussion. We're not even in the same book right now, let alone the same page.
We had to take a shot or two or whatever to
or
get
10
emotionally prepared because when we were talking about our tops and bottoms, right? We start really getting into it, and this is one of those ones that like we feel a little vulnerable.
It's kind of a lot vulnerable for me for me.
Oh my god.
2 for me with other people. 3
Yes.
On the fucking internet. I don't
sensitive.
like
I'm
to
an
be
oversharer.
vulnerable. Like it's like one of Lauren's biggest pet peeves is like I hate being vulnerable.
You hate being vulnerable. Go
Yeah,
on.
I do. I hate being vulnerable, and like I don't know, it just feels so vulnerable. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Okay, so we'll jump in. So when we were talking about this, our tops and bottoms started to kind of meld together, and so we were just like, we're just gonna
combine them.
Yeah, we're just gonna combine these. So, well, let's start with bottom.
Our bottom, so has to do with the top, which is gonna come later. But like, we're going out to dinner tonight, and it was a surprise for the both of us, and so I did not pack accordingly.
Yeah.
And then I started to like stress because this is a really nice restaurant and we're so excited to go. And I just started feeling like I wish that I was the type of person to just be so confident that I could wear whatever I want and feel comfortable and confident in it. You know what I mean? Because like obviously comfortability is very important.
Yes.
But then I just like that kind of took me down like a whole spiral because I was like,
I think ours are like, it's like the same but different.
yeah, because so I'm like looking at my outfits where I have a top and jeans and a blazer, which I'm like in my head, do I want to wear jeans to dinner? No. Who the fuck wants to wear jeans to dinner? Nobody. Like I'm going to unbutton that shit as soon as I sit down before I even start eating. But the blazer in my head, I'm like, I can hide.
Yeah.
It's my security blanket.
Oh, yeah.
I'm literally chose to wear sweats for this episode because I'm like, you know when no one realizes things and then you talk about it and it draws attention to it?
So now it's like, I'm going to cover up everything.
So if I'm going to talk about my body, I'm covering her. Like, do not look at me.
Yes.
In fact, just listen to this in your headphones. Don't even watch.
Yeah, don't watch. Please don't
Don't
watch
even
this.
watch.
Don't look at me.
But yeah, then I just started realizing like I'm so what is the word? Uncomfortable, I guess. Like I'm just not confident to throw on anything and just go, 1, because it's a nice restaurant, but 2, because where I'm at right this second, you know, I went so hard for the wedding and for my batch, and I've been on this like I just want to enjoy life. I don't want to be so hard on myself to where like every time I go out I have to have a salad, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. I can't go out to dinner X amount of times because it's gonna, you know what I mean? Like I want to enjoy life. We also don't get to see each other very often. So like I don't want to be stressing about what I can and cannot eat because what's gonna make me feel bloated. What's gonna make me feel fat. Like I
went through the same thing of like, I don't want to like I have been trying to like work out every day, multiple times a day, just to get myself one. I think I just need it in general for routine and all the other things like blah, blah, blah. But I was almost packed workout clothes because in my head I was like, you dumb bitch, like don't, like basically like don't have fun, like don't treat this like it's a kind of a little bit of a vacation. Like I was almost punishing myself, and I hate that. It's like my number. I always tell Des, I'm like, I'm so against people punishing their body. And then I found myself doing it where I was like, I'm going to wake up at 7 a.m. and do just like a quick workout.
Yeah.
That way I feel okay. And I'm like, no, I'm so excited to spend 3 or 4 days or whatever the hell it is with my best friends. Like, I don't want to be so like hooked on the fact that I need to work out. Because I know people sometimes do it for like mental stability,
right,
which I totally understand,
which is so important
and it
as
is
well.
helpful for me as well when I work out, but it's not like I just don't want to have to stop the party or just like go out of my way to force myself to get up,
because like when
when
we're filming till fucking 2 o'clock in the morning, and then for you to fucking kill yourself and wake up at 5-6 a.m. and then get ready and we have to leave by 8, like I just
going
keep
crazy.
Well, this whole time since we got back from the wedding, I'm just like, just enjoy life, don't be so hard on yourself. And then now I'm like, when I try to put clothes on, I'm like, maybe you could have afforded to be just a little bit harder on yourself. And then like sometimes it really, I know for a fact I definitely suffer from severe body dysmorphia, like severe.
Can I put a pause?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a top to share ish? Because like what was
the top was
because I want to like dig into that because I have the biggest bone.
The top was just like us not being so hard on ourselves about feeling
Again,
about the podcast though.
True. So clearly like we're only like I don't even know how many episodes in, but not a lot. You know, a lot of people are putting out stuff every week, whatever. we're trying to just figure out what works for us, especially because we don't live near each other. So we're
learning everything all at the same time, and like we're learning how to record, we're learning how to edit, we're learning how to do all of these things, and we're trying to figure out how to do it separate. And so and then on top of that we're learning how to batch film or batch record, because like that's hard.
It's so difficult. I wish more people would talk about like how they like legitimately started their podcast, because I feel like everyone kind of jumps in and they're just like, oh, hee hee ha ha, and it's not hee hee.
I follow a lot of people that already have a platform and a following and then start a podcast.
I don't know.
And I mean, I love those podcasts, but like low-key cheating.
Yeah.
Like we're just new
doing it, like,
to
for fun.
The internet in general. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're definitely.
I was never even like like you know, like a lot of my friends, like when I was growing up, like they would at least my friends, they would like make skits. They were like Des. They would like make skits up, and we would like I would have fun and like do it with them. But they were like serious. They would upload it to YouTube when YouTube was brand spanking new. I'm talking Smosh days, like before whatever you guys are watching Smosh do. Boring. It was
I don't
like
even
old
know
school.
who Smosh is.
Oh my god, Cardboard Boyfriend, or is it like Cart Box Boy? Whatever it is, fucking Google it. It's so funny. Anyway, but it was when. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Yeah. Okay. Scary. Anyway, like my friends used to like do that kind of stuff, and I just was never super into it, so I wasn't really putting myself out on the internet like that, or just like comfortable. Our top was that we're learning this on the fly, and we're really trying, and I'm
only now starting to feel not even confident, but just like content with what we're doing, because I mean, I still feel like this, but like in the beginning, I didn't even want to post about us.
Yeah.
I didn't want to repost about us. I remember the first night our podcast launched and Lauren was texting everyone we knew saying like, sending them the link to the video. And I was like, you're embarrassing me.
I didn't tell anybody.
I don't want anyone I know to watch this. I fucking hate it so much.
When someone's like, hey, I'm watching, and I'm like, please don't.
And it's a matter of like, one, we're not confident in the process yet. And then 2, like we're so new. 3, we hate listening to our voices back. Do you know how hard it was for me to turn down shots last night when like
I was surprised because I was on one. I was like ready to go. That too, we're also trying to find a balance between each other, like because we actually like we love to get drunk together, but we have different like preferences. We have different.
And it's so funny because whenever
cycles.
We're together, I think because it's not a consistent thing and both of our routines are thrown off. Like we're both tired and not in the mood at different times. So, like, when I'm literally dying, ready to go to sleep, Rick's like, fucking party.
Rage.
And then the opposite.
Bitch.
You know, like, it's so,
and
it's
I'm like
hard.
Struggling. I'm like,
Yeah,
Like, I'm about
it's
to cry.
hard. But I think we're getting the hang of it, and I honestly
Yeah.
think like
I
the
think we're
key
doing a lot
is to
better.
just not be so hard on yourself. Like
who the fuck cares? Like we've been saying that, like we're like that's why we started. Who the fuck cares? But when we were faced with it, it was like, oh no, and then we started getting insecure about it. But then again, we're just kind of writing those lows and highs of sometimes it's gonna feel like shit, but we have to remind ourselves like,
and we're not doing this for any, like, we're not trying to change the world. We're not, like, obviously it would be like a dream to be monetized, but like
God,
that's
yeah.
not, we're not doing this for the sole purpose of like making money or wanting to do this or wanting to, like, we're already doing this in our free time, so why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like
we just think it's funny.
every once in a while, like today, we're gonna talk about something like body dysmorphia, lack of confidence, like all of these things, and perhaps you might be able to resonate with it, and like maybe it will help you. And even if it doesn't help you like advice wise, maybe it'll be nice to not feel so alone in that, you know?
Because I think we all face that where like it sounds so stupid and so insane, but everyone always feels like they're the only person
100%.
experiencing this feeling, and you're like, why? What the fuck? But when you really like open up about it, and I think that is the more important thing, is that like we have like a need to connect. We connect with each other, and so we were like, well, let's connect with other people, or hopefully. But it's really that helps. So it's like
I have to keep reminding myself every single time an episode comes out. I'm like, we're just doing this for fun. We're doing what we love to do, which is being together and talking shit and drinking.
yeah, and it's just so funny. Like and I have to start to remember that. But it's like in the process of sometimes making these and then having to edit it, because you're watching yourself over and over again. You're picking out every little thing. I'm like, oh my god, why do I do my face like that? Why do I laugh like that? Why do I say that thing?
I pick myself apart. Even if I can get on board with the episode itself.
Yeah.
I'm like, my chin, my teeth, my hair, my
Oh
outfit.
my god, my teeth.
I really feel like this podcast, in the end, I feel like it's gonna force us to not necessarily like be in love with ourselves, but like
help.
just accept us for what we are. Like, I look the way that I look, fucking period, end of story. Until the day that this fucking podcast takes off and we're making millions, this is the fucking face you're gonna be looking at. This is the body I'm gonna have.
Yeah.
This is the voice I'm gonna have. You know what I mean? Like,
we were doing like an Ix episode, and I forgot to mention it on the episode.
my hearing just went out in this ear.
I can't. Dude, that happens all the time.
It's like,
It freaks me out. Yeah, and it just goes, "Meow," and you're like, am I dying?
Reboot.
Am I having a stroke? And
Reboot.
Restart. No, so like we did that episode. I forgot to mention, but there was like one ick that I wanted to say, but I almost felt insecure about saying it, because I was like, am I just like a hypocrite or something? Whatever. I absolutely cannot watch or stand watching influencer podcasts talk about being an influencer. I think it's the weirdest thing in the world, because they're just talking about this such this like outlandish like maybe
they
it's,
have like an
specific-
unattainable lifestyle, and
where I'm
like
this is not, there's a lot of influencers out in the world, don't get me wrong, but it's still just so bizarre to me that I'm like, the fact that you're sitting here and you're complaining about going to some brand trip, and what it is, it's a lot of complaining, and I'm like,
the complaining
fuck?
about going
You
on
know?
brand trips. Okay, this is what did it for me. Like,
I get so weirded out by people just talking about that kind of stuff. I'm like, talk to me about
It's-
real shit, or be funny, or
be thankful.
or be thankful.
Because you know what? I remember during COVID,
my
this is
God,
the
it was
first
so
time
weird.
that I was like, because I prefer influencers over celebrities, only because even though they're more unattainable, I mean, even though they're unattainable, they're more relatable than
That's true. You're right.
Oscar-winning fucking
Yeah, I'm like,
celebrity.
what the fuck is
Like,
that?
I can't fucking relate
never
to
wanted
your
to act- I've never wanted to be an
multi-billionaire
actor.
fucking mansion. Like, anyway, but I remember like certain influencers that I followed during COVID, brands were sending them like platters of sushi for dinner, boxes of pasta, pizza, and I was like, do you know how many families are starving
And I'm
because
like-
of this pandemic, and you're sending people who are filthy rich dinner?
Already. Yeah, I was like, that's so confusing. I don't get that. I was not into that whole thing. So
No.
I don't know why, but I just like hate that. I don't.
Yeah.
Specifically, I hate influencers talking about being an influencer. I want an influencer to tell me just about whatever their fuck niche thing that they're famous for or whatever. But other than that, like, shut the fuck up. That's so weird. And it's not relatable at
It's
all.
not. It's really not.
Your content that you probably are an influencer for is relatable. Not being an influencer
Yeah.
is relatable. That's
Yeah.
so weird to me. I don't like it.
Unless I'm going to sign up for like a, what do they call it? Like a masterclass.
Oh my god, if I'm paying
I don't
if
need
I'm
to
paying
know
for your
about-
Patreon, then fine.
I don't need
Fucking
to
do
know
it. But if I'm
about
not,
you being an influencer.
I came here for shits and giggles.
All right. Anyway, that was a tangent.
Sorry.
But circling back around, back to our bottom shelf, which is what we started the episode with.
Oh yeah. Sorry, we were running.
I mean, they all kind of
Just
run
meshed
into each
together.
other about like lack of confidence and all of the things. Sitting here, I've been stressing since last night, since we found out about dinner. Like,
Yeah.
what am I going to wear? I'm not going to feel good in anything I wear. Like, now I have to worry about hair, makeup, and outfit, and how I'm going to feel in that outfit.
Yeah.
And like, how I feel in the outfit, not just like how I feel like I look outwardly, but how I physically feel. Like, are my pants too tight? All of the things. Like,
Yeah.
that's going to affect the experience. All of that goes into the
Yeah.
whole entire experience.
And this experience, like, I do not want anything interfering.
No.
Because I'm so excited. Like, I'm so thrilled. I can't believe that we're going. Like, I'm so excited that I don't like that I'm concerned about something that's, to me, so stupid.
It was
like,
so sweet to be surprised.
yes.
But I just wish that I could have
Oh,
prepared
yeah.
more.
Because my number
I
one
would have gone
thing-
shopping for an outfit
Yeah.
specifically for this, and it
Yep.
would fit my body now.
Yep.
Rather than like Lauren, because they surprised us, like
Mm-hmm.
she like packed clothes for me, and I'm like, you don't even know if some of the
I
things
didn't
she brought
even-
me,
Yeah.
I bought for the batch,
Oh.
and I was
nice.
2 sizes smaller than I am right now.
So you're like, what is this?
And like, again, I'm so thankful. Like the gesture was so sweet, and I'm so excited.
Yeah.
But then I'm like so unprepared.
It's one of those
So
things where it's like,
unprepared.
I'm a good person to surprise because I'm oblivious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we've been over that. But I'm also, it kind of sucks sometimes because I like to be prepared. And my biggest like pet peeve, the thing that makes me the most insecure, and it can be the smallest thing, I cannot, if there is a plan, if we deviate, it makes me want to throw up right now. Like, I hate that. And it's stupid simple. Like, it could be, Des is like, we're not doing anything during the day. We're just going to a water park. And I'm like, got it. If we're on our way to the water park and she goes, I want to stop and get a hot dog, my brain,
Do you
I
want to go
start
out to eat
panic.
before?
And
or
then
do
I'm
you want to
like,
go out to eat after?
I wasn't thinking about my appetite. I had already packed things to go to the water park because I considered that, and I considered like, what am I gonna eat that is good for a water park? Like, but I'm so like particular in that way.
Yeah.
That to throw me off, it's really difficult. And granted, I have a partner that really tries to help me through those things,
Yeah.
and I try really hard not to, like, especially if other people are involved, then I'm sacrificing. I don't want to be a nuisance. I don't want to be like inconsiderate or anything like that. But it is so hard for me to change direction when I'm already like,
Because we're already prepared for one thing.
and then you're like, skirt, and I'm like, ooh, I can't. I'm not a fun skirt. I'm
No.
a car wreck.
Yeah.
Car wreck.
Honestly, and yeah, I can't
Yeah.
do the
But I
changing.
feel, yeah, like it just sucks because I don't know. Like what
I
were you
also-
saying about the things? I was like, I have a bone to pick because I have my own issues with my body
Right.
that I don't love, but I also think I'm one of those people that just like, I don't pick myself apart.
Oh, I do. Heavily. All
And
the
that's where
time.
I get really
Oh,
like,
she gets so mad, and
to the
you
point
know-
where it almost makes it like I don't want to say anything because it pisses me off so bad. And it's not that I'm pissed that she has issues. It's pissed that I'm like,
Well,
it
you
is
guys,
so
we
unfortunate
obviously
that-
don't see other people the way
Yeah.
we see ourselves.
Of course.
And so, like,
I just can't handle people putting themselves down and punishing themselves and like thinking that that's okay.
I
Like,
don't know where I
get so
learned this
bothered.
from, or like what part of my upbringing like
Mm-hmm.
made me be the way that I am. But like, I go
Like, so hard on yourself.
hard. Like, I'm not even gonna say the things that I say to myself on camera because
you would die because it's so.
I'm so mean to myself,
and it makes me so sad. It makes me so sad, and it's like such a real thing. Like I get so frustrated because I am like, I don't want to hear. And I've said it.
And I've
said
tried
it to you
really
guys.
hard.
I've said it to you like to your
yeah.
face, and in like sometimes she'd be going off, and I'd be like, get that shit out of here. Like just stop, because I'm gonna start getting mean about it too. That also she forces me to get into this, to confront an issue that I already have, which is I come off harsh. I'm a kind of aggressive person. I'm kind of a bitch. I am. But it's also the way that I express care, which is not, it's not like I hit people. It's not like I'm like slapping her and being like, I do because I love you. No, but it is like, I get really to the point where I'm like, honestly,
no, sometimes
honestly fucking stop, or I'm walking out.
Sometimes I'm like talking and like about myself, and she's like, I'm literally going to fucking kill you. I'm going to push you off this fucking chair. I'm going to push you out of the fucking moving car. Like, because
of the way that you're talking to yourself.
And I also think it's
because imagine someone talking to me the
I was
way
just
that
gonna
you're
say
saying
that. Like, they always say, like, if you wouldn't say it to your friend, why would you say it to yourself? Exactly. Like, don't you love your friend?
Yeah.
So you would never
go so hard for them.
Yeah. You would never, ever, ever be like, you're such a fucking fat bitch.
Yeah. Are you joking?
Even if you couldn't fit into pants, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, you're like fucking fat.
Like, but then like you say that to yourself, and I'm like,
yeah,
I'm gonna fucking punch you in the mouth. Are you joking?
Yeah.
So it's really hard. It's hard to watch that, but it's not like I'm not mad or blame. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not like, you need to fucking just get over it. It's just one of those things where it's like, I feel so strongly that I'm like, I don't know how you don't see this. Like, I don't know how you don't just appreciate for a second. Just like,
oh my God. Earlier when you were sitting on the chair and you were like, oh, my skirt and my tummy and in the camera, I was literally like, the fact that you even just let that leave your mouth.
Yeah. Okay. But that's my thing, is I genuinely, because I'm clearly a small human.
Yeah.
I know that. I'm fucking aware, everyone. I'm under 5 foot. I have by the time I broke 100 pounds.
When I met you, you weren't even 100 pounds.
No, I hadn't been 100 pounds until about 2 years ago. 3 years ago, maybe.
Thanks, Des.
I love that happy weight. But like, something that's always pissed me off is that, like, because I'm small, people think that I'm not allowed to have body issues. And that really, like, I'm gonna start crying, because it's like, that's not fair. Like, I still have a brain. Like, I still go through all the same things that everyone else does, and sometimes it's backwards. Like, and I know that it sounds so shitty, but when people are like, I would kill to be like your size, but I'm like, I would kill to have weight, like, to have you know, some muscle on my body, like, to just fit into things. Everyone's like, oh, you can shop in the kids section and it's so much cheaper. I'm like, yeah,
okay, but like, as a 30-year-old woman, you don't want to look like a fucking prepubescent boy.
I don't want to have jeans on that doesn't have a zipper, because I have finger dexterity. I know how to use a zipper, or like stuff like that. And I'm like, it's just like, it's so, I don't like when people comment on it. And then I don't like when people compare themselves to me, because I'm like, that's not fair. I'm under 5 foot.
Yeah, like,
I'm short.
I find myself literally being making, well, not anymore, because I just told you the other night, like, I'm trying to work on that, but like, previously, like, making comments almost to the point of like comparison, and I'm like, I'm 2 feet taller than you. My bones are bigger than yours, obviously. Like, it is what it is. Like, genetics play a role. Diet plays a role. Like, all of the things. And, like, some things I truly don't have.
Like,
even if I could somehow get myself under 100 pounds, I'm not going to shrink. I'm not going to shrink.
Yeah, but then you would look sick.
I would look sick.
Like, me with someone else's weight, I would be in a wheelchair because I couldn't move. So it's like, no shit, I don't weigh that much, or whatever the fuck. But it's just like, I don't even know. And then there's this whole thing where we've gone through this, where it's like, we were tiny and I had like fast metabolism. I was an athlete, so I was working out like crazy. There was a point in time where I was, even after college, was working on my feet and walking so it's like, the weight just kind of stayed off. So I didn't ever set myself up for any sort of like like, I don't know, lifestyle, like,
Yeah.
to maintain that kind of body that I was okay with. So,
I
like,
wish that I had listened because
oh my God, me too.
I was never an athlete, but I have always been small. Like, if you see
Yeah.
my family, like, I have forever been the smallest member
Oh
in
my
my
gosh,
family.
yes.
And I waitressed for so long. And, like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just, like, standing behind the register. I'm
you are
running around.
going crazy, yeah.
And, like, it's fucking hot. You know what I mean?
then you're
like, I'm
sweating.
sweating. It is a workout.
Yeah.
And so, like, for the longest time, I would just eat like shit. I didn't care. And, like, my
Same.
grandma would be like, one day
One day
you
you're gonna
need to
fucking
start
hate it.
taking care of yourself because one day
It's
you're
gonna
not
backfire.
going to have this metabolism. Like, your body is going to be an adult body, not a teenager body.
Yeah.
And here we are.
And then I'm like, oh.
And here we are. And, like, I remember, like, for the longest time, up until I found Pilates, I just don't understand the gym. So, like,
I'm not a good gym person.
I would feel like I would go to the gym and I'm like, I'm working my fucking ass off, but nothing's working. And it's probably because I don't know what I'm doing. And then I found Pilates and, like, it made me feel better from the inside out, not necessarily losing weight, but, like,
No, that's the
gaining
thing, yes.
muscle and, like,
Yes.
mobility
Just feeling good.
and all of the
Yeah.
things.
Mobility.
And, like, ever since then, which I haven't gone in a hot minute, but like, I just, that was like my vice for so long.
Yeah.
And especially when the wedding stuff was coming up, I was like, and that's another thing. I feel like me specifically with my, like, dysmorphia issues, like, if there's something special coming up, whether it's a trip, whether it's this, that, whatever, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, turn it up.
Right.
Eat nothing or eat only vegetables, drink only water, and work out 5,000 times a day. And at the end of it, when that event happens, I still don't feel good about myself.
Yeah, so then it's like, why
So
the
it
fuck
doesn't
did I
even
just do
matter. Why
that?
did I make myself suffer for the last couple of months? Because I busted my fucking ass for the batch. I hated the way I looked.
That made me so insanely mad too,
Hated.
because when you said that the other day, I was like, what do you
Hated
mean?
the way
think
I
it's
looked.
Fantastic.
I
at
hated the way I
batch.
looked in clothing when we're in our swimsuits. Like, I fucking hated it. And so then after that, I was so frustrated with that experience that I was less strict on myself for the wedding, because I'm like, what's the point? If I'm going to be so unhappy anyway,
Then who cares?
unless I'm gonna go fucking get liposuction between now and then, it's just not gonna happen. And
Yeah.
and honestly, I don't love a lot of the pictures, but that was already gonna happen. I'm not gonna lose a fucking 100 pounds between February and May.
True. Well, I guess, like, even though that, like, makes me sad, it's like, at least you're.
And I still
you're
was.
starting-
I
you're
still
starting
was
to
eating
face some of those things where it's like, I can't change some of this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
no matter what, I was gonna be pissed at
I was
myself.
still doing the same
but
things.
why,
I
like,
just was
punish
being
my body
less
at the same
hard on
time?
myself because I was still eating meal prep. I was still working out, sometimes Pilates twice a day for 4 or 5 days a week. I was still doing all the things. I just was drinking more because, one, wedding planning is fucking stressful.
That's-
But, like,
I'm so
also,
scared.
two, I was like, why? If I'm stressed, if I want to celebrate, then why not? Because, like I said,
Yeah.
I hated the way I looked at the batch anyway. And I did fucking dry January and most of February. I meal prepped. I was working out. I was fucking killing myself at Pilates. Like, sometimes I would go to class and, like,
Yeah.
be to the point of, like, almost in tears. I can't even do the whatever the fucking movement is, on almost vomiting, because I would go and I would do 2 hard classes in one day instead of, like, a stretching class and
Yeah.
a hard class, because I'm like, okay, crunch time, like, gotta figure it out, gotta get skinny, gotta do this. And then I, like I said, was
I
unhappy.
still were
Yeah.
it makes me so sad that there's so many factors, obviously, and, like, everyone can have their, like, everyone has their idea of, like, what it is and all that stuff, but I really think it's just, like, your own head that gets in the way. And, like, I'm like I'm such a fucking fence rider that, like, I know that sometimes I'm like, God, like, I feel bad about myself, or, like, I'll start to kind of, like, pick myself apart. But the thing is, I think something that I at least kind of appreciate about my brain is that I never really let it get that far to where, like, I refuse to punish my body. I just once I feel myself kind of doing that, I stop immediately. It's almost like I will completely stop it. Like almost to the point where I'm like, if I feel like I'm like going to the gym too often because I'm just like, and I'm doing it for the wrong reason, like not to make myself feel good, but because I think like I just need to like do something about my body.
A lot to do with,
I
like,
stop myself and I go, absolutely not. You're not punishing yourself. That is not fair.
I think that has a lot to do with like, honestly, I think that has a lot to do with the way your parents raised you. Yeah. Because I'm telling you, pity party is in my blood.
See, that's crazy, and I was not allowed.
I know.
I'm like not fucking allowed.
It's not even just that I wasn't allowed, but that's what I've they all do it.
Like I know that people, fucking sorry if you have fucking kids, but like I really cannot get behind the let my child cry in front of fucking everybody, whatever. I'm sorry, but I was a kid that was fucking sent to my room because get it together. Mm-hmm. And not in a harsh way. My parents were just like, you can feel your emotions, but you don't need to fucking
do it in front of everybody and make everybody feel bad because
and make people feel bad for you. That is not their problem. And so I think. But then also the weird flip side of that is that I constantly feel like I'm an inconvenience to everyone. But as far as like being raised, like my parents just would not let me feel bad about myself or like do that to myself.
See, like and this is on both sides because my dad does this. Mm-hmm. I don't really talk to my mom too much, but like my dad does this, my grandma does this, my grandma's my mom's mom. Mm-hmm. Well, no one loves me. Well, you're not gonna come over because you don't love me. Oh, you don't want to do this for me because you don't love me. You can't answer my phone call because you don't love me. And like just the whole fucking pity party. So like that kind of stuff is like, and it's funny because when they do it to me, I'm like,
do you get pissed?
Infuriated.
That's exactly how I felt when you start doing it to me.
I know.
I go, and I've told you, I go, and I usually warn you because I don't want to be mean to you. I don't like, that's weird. Care. Like, I don't like that.
I'm fucking mean to you.
I know. Well, I didn't mean to say I know that quickly.
You're like, I know.
No, but it's like one of those things is because like I truly love and value your friendship and I care about you that I usually tell you like if you say one more thing I'm gonna start getting really really mean because at some point I'm gonna start bullying you.
Do it. You know, like
well because you'll be so hard on yourself and I'm like and I can only tell you no don't. Well, you're not like that so many times.
That's all I have in my life. So maybe I do need you to shake it up.
I want to be like, okay, if you're going to tell yourself,
of
like,
course,
oh, you
Lauren's
look fat,
not
like,
fucking over there being mean to me. She's like, no, honey, like, you look so good right now. Like,
and sometimes I just get annoyed. And so, like, I have like
and it is to witness other people acting like that. Like, when my family does it. I know we're not talking about the same thing. Like, no one's saying, like, oh, my God, I'm so fat. Blah. But, like, to do the whole fucking pity party, look at me, like, wah, like,
get over yourself.
When they do that, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to fucking hang up on you and never speak to you ever again. And so I know that I do that when it comes to my weight and like what I look like. And so I'm like, I can only imagine how fucking annoying it is. Like, I can't even tell you. Lauren probably fucking hates me secretly.
I think for people that care about you and in general, when you care about a person that's doing that to themselves, it's not necessarily that it's annoying. It's just like you're so frustrated.
It's frustrating because you don't see me that way.
Yeah, and I'm like, I understand that sometimes you're gonna feel bad about yourself, and I want you to be able to express that. So go ahead. Yeah. But there is a time where like this is enough. Like I don't want to hear you punish yourself like that. Like it makes me. I'm gonna start crying. It makes me. It just makes me so sad because I'm like You're fine. You're perfect. Yeah. I like everything about you is perfect. Like we enjoy you. We're not beating you up about that. Yeah. It's like stuff that we do not want to hear you say about yourself. It's so ugly. And I'm like, could you imagine saying that to another person?
No,
like, really? Could you imagine bullying me for real about like my weight or something like that?
No,
and honestly, it's like no. So don't do that to your fucking self. That's so weird.
Peter, we need shots because we're both crying.
I'm tearing up. That's a big shot.
Should we split it? Mm-hmm. Okay.
You guys were already crying, so like.
Yeah, this is, like I said.
This is just to like maybe get me to stop.
I don't like being vulnerable, like I said. So now I'm gonna, we're gonna handle that. We're gonna handle that. And honestly, right after this, we're gonna wrap this up because this is too much for me.
That's fine. I also got a shishi.
Cheers to being vulnerable bitches.
Cheers.
Okay.
Ooh, anyway, the coconut was left over in there.
So wrap it up.
Oh, I just don't like when people make comments, even if you think you are making a compliment. I just think don't comment on anything.
Just like
physically.
don't comment on anyone else's body, actually. You know what I mean? Like whether you're
I think
like,
it's so
oh my
fucking
god, I
weird.
wish I could do that or whatever, or like
There's a way to say like, oh, you look so good, but you don't have to be specific.
Yeah.
Because like you don't know people's insecurities. Like I think it's so weird because even when people are like, oh my god, I've had so many people where they were like, oh my gosh, I wish I could look like you and blah blah blah, and they were telling me that, again crying, in the midst of like the worst depression I've ever had in my life, where I was like, I'm literally starving myself because I don't want to like do life. Like it was so hard, and for someone to come up and tell you look so good, and like
wish I looked
and
like
I was
that, and you're so unhappy.
And in my head I'm like, I know I look like a fucking skeleton, are you joking? And
we grew up in the time where anorexia was in. So like growing
and that used to
up
scare me, and then I was insecure about being so skinny because I was like, I think people think I'm sick. And then when I wasn't in the worst depressive state of mind,
then it's like,
then I was like, and
you know
I was
what?
still so concerned
my
about being
family's
so
rude
skinny.
as fuck, and they'll be like, you're gaining weight.
Oh, well.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, so
when I did start gaining weight, my grandma immediately, my Thai grandma, so it is broken English, and she was like, she goes, your boobs have in an accent, so it's so funny, but like, and I'm not gonna try to mock her accent because I just can't, but like, she was just like, oh, your boobs, they're so big, and I was like, I know.
I have had my family literally tell me like I need to eat more, and then tell me I'm gaining weight, and I'm like, what's gonna be good enough for you?
What do you want me to do?
Where exactly would you like me to be? Tell me your ideal weight for me. You know, like,
you're just like, what the fuck?
And honestly, that is like me, like what I'm gonna wrap this up with is like,
just shut up.
Learn to accept yourself for who and what you are. You don't have to listen to what anyone else's opinion is. And honestly, so cliche, but like social media is fucking awful. Comparison is the thief of joy, truly. Like,
I think
you're not
when you start
Kim
feeling
K.
bad about yourself,
Yeah.
get off. Fucking log off. Don't look at that shit. It's so fake.
You're not Kim K. You're not Elisha. You're not Lauren. You're not Des. You're not me. I'm not anyone else. I am who I am. I look like what I look like. It fucking is what it is. And honestly, I feel like I'm so thankful for this podcast, and like it unintentionally is like helping me because I have to stare at myself for so long. So long that at some point,
and
like I said in the
having
beginning,
to make a decision. Am I gonna eat myself alive, or
am I just gonna let it fucking go and be happy that we're doing what we want to do?
And I think we are on the side of we are having so much fun. We know we're having fun. That like I don't want that to be the reason why we're not gonna do this.
Well, we're just gonna quit the podcast because
that's so gross.
I don't like how I looked in that last episode. I don't want anyone else. I'm sure one day people will start leaving hate comments and like, you look like this, you sound like that, whatever. But
also, guess what? Naomi's gonna fight you in the comments.
Oh my god, I will.
And honestly,
I will camp in the comments.
We had this discussion when we first started this podcast. I was like, Naomi, just for like the first little bit that we're just trying to do this,
I can't.
Don't look at the comments, because if someone says something to you and you pop off,
to be fair, I
don't want to come through. Like,
to be fair, I have not looked at any of our comments yet.
They've all actually been like generally really nice. So like, thank you for that. And
I also don't have the login, so I don't get the notifications.
And I think I did that a little bit on purpose because I just refuse to let her do that.
I love fighting in the comments, which
she does.
We could talk about that on another day. But
she has the time.
That was our super extra.
I'm so sorry for
vulnerable. No, it's authentic.
I know.
It is what it is.
Okay, like,
this is our safe space.
Yeah, you're right. Safe space.
Well, we already took our shot, and I'm not going to take another one because I will black out. But
and we have somewhere to be.
We hope that you guys feel less alone if you suffer from any of these things. We hope that you guys feel confident this week, and
go say 3 nice things about yourself.
Go stare at yourself in the fucking mirror right now and say 3 nice things about yourself.
And also try to find friends and partners that love you and do this
lift
for
you up. Yeah.
Des makes me, I literally hate it. I roll my eyes every time, but I do it. She makes me repeat affirmations, close my eyes, do the whole thing, take deep breaths, and she makes me say like, I literally have to go, I love myself.
Yeah.
I value myself. And
I hate
feel
it
like a fucking idiot.
So much. I hate it so much.
I hate it, but do I do it and do I feel better?
Yeah.
So do it.
Go do it.
Go do it. Go say your fucking affirmations, whatever they may be. Do it.
And also take a shot.
Yep. Get drunk.
We hope you guys enjoyed this session of Tequila Therapy, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.